You as a man can have a jaw that is too wide. Now, this is something that is kind of unusual to look at. Like, if you ever look at people that train their buccinator muscles and they like really take it seriously, it actually looks pretty fucking goofy. It doesn't actually look good. I think like a lot of people that aren't nerds, that aren't like autistic, that get into looksmaxxing, they just have this vague idea that a wide jaw on a man looks good, right? But it's very black and white thinking that is just not applicable to reality. There is absolutely, a point of diminishing returns when it comes to jaw width. And, for a lot of guys, like their jaw width kind of falls short. So a lot of them kind of have like this assumption that if we just get the jaw wider and wider and wider, it's going to look good. It's kind of like neck width, right? There's a point of diminishing returns where, it looks good if it's a 1-to-1 ratio with your jaw width or mandible width. When you get beyond that, like, some of these NFL, linebackers, it just looks stupid. It looks like a Goomba from the Super Mario Brothers movie. And I think it's something similar when it comes to your jaw width. If your mandible width is, is about the same as your like cheekbone width or your bizygomatic width, it actually looks terrible. It looks like you've got like a Minecraft Steve head. You don't want that. And if it goes even beyond that, you start to no longer even look like Minecraft Steve. You actually start to look like the I Hate Everything avatar. If you remember that YouTube channel that was from the 2010s, good for you. But like, yeah, it just looks like that. There's this Russian guy that, normies keep saying is like the guy that took looksmaxxing too far. No, he didn't take looksmaxxing too far. If he took looksmaxxing far, he would understand what the ideal facial ratio between your bizygomatic width and your mandible width. And under no circumstances should your mandible width be wider than your bizygomatic width. Come on. So yeah, he hasn't taken looksmaxxing too far. He hasn't taken looksmaxxing far enough, because if you listen to like, real nerds and people that have studied facial aesthetics, he would buck his ideas up. And also there's other ratios to keep in mind, like, the width of your mandible to your mouth, your nose, like there's a lot of other things like that. And once you start screwing up with your, mandible width, it can fuck up the rest of your face. Quite a lot of, guys that get like, fake jaws from cosmetic surgery, it just looks terrible because they're just not nerds. Like they don't know the ratios here, right? So yeah, there absolutely is a point where your facial width can look better. And I want to do a bit of a Photoshop. Like, here's this like the CEO of Jawline, or whatever his name is, and yeah, I photoshopped him to make his jaw look smaller, and as you can see, it just looks phenomenally better. It just looks a lot better. So yeah, a lot of guys just have this black and white thinking, and it's just not applicable to reality.